My biggest takeaway from LEAD is that each leader has their own subtly different theory of leadership.
You should never underestimate the impact one person can have in creating a culture, shaping an organization, changing an industry, and most importantly, having a positive influence on the people around them.
Is learning to use opposite hands as they become increasingly self-aware throughout the rest of HBS and beyond.
The importance of understanding or trying to understand how other people experience you as a leader.
Sometimes leaders have to do the right thing poorly before they can do the right thing well.
A great leader establishes empathy with his people and set a vision for them to pursue.
A great leader, he doesn't need to be omnipotent.
To be able to look back in 10, 20 years and say that I stood for what I believed in, that I took the risk and I led with purpose.
Learning kind of what my own faults are, and that's the first step in realizing how I can become a better person.
The good words that Professor Margolis leaves us with at the end of very fast.
Life is as much about the plumbing as much as it is about the poetry.
He made us a lot closer, so we became comfortable speaking our minds in front of each other.
Leadership takes a lot of endurance. Bringing out the best in yourself and others requires a lot of elbow grease and a lot of time.
If I was there, would I shut down the mines?
Look deeper, to see deeper, to think beyond what's in the surface, and to go beyond what society expects of us.
That the action plans we create to implement change, to define culture, and to structure organizations are going to set us apart as leaders and ultimately define our level of success.
To elevate my game. I need to reach further. I need to go deeper. It's not about having the right answer. It's not about always getting it right. It's also about being open to change.
I should not act in life while being paralyzed by fear.
Leadership is just as much about the small things as it is about the big things.
A leader sees the world not as it is, but as it should be.
When do I need to take responsibility, even if nothing is going my way?
Leadership is not necessarily an innate quality.
My biggest takeaway from LEAD is that effective leadership is really intentional.
Action.
The 3 words I'd use to describe Professor Margolis are emphatic, passionate, and metamorphosing.
Enthusiastic, dedicated, and challenging.
Courageous. I think he's also genuinely authentic, and I think he is very, truly unforgettable.
Passionate. He truly believes in what he's teaching us and in us individually as leaders.
Are respectful, challenging, and passionate.
My advice to a new LEAD student would be, don't use buzzwords. They won't work the way you think they will.
Passionate, inspiring, jackhammer.
Are kind, passionate, and challenging.
Committed, dedicated, and inspiring professor I've ever had.
If you are open to learning, the class can change your perspective on leadership and on life.
My favorite case in LEAD so far has been the Bridgewater case. So many people in the class had a first-hand experience that was particularly polarizing, and people felt like the topic was actually very accessible as a result.
My favorite case was the class of 1976 profiles. I really liked that case and that day because I really enjoyed learning about my classmates' goals and what they define as success.
Eric Peterson. I think I learned a lot about what it means to be an accountable leader in that case. Not to mention, that was my first cold call.
Joshua Margolis taught me how to not be nervous in nerve-wracking situations.
Thank you so much for helping me grow as a person, helping me grow as a leader, and for pushing me to elevate my game.
Thank you for teaching us things that are very practical, things that we can take from here.
It's enabling all of us to be real in every sense of the word.
For being a wonderful coach, teacher, and mentor this year in our leadership class.
For his deep care and commitment for Section A, he's made our experience truly memorable, and I always think back to our classes with him.
For helping me reflect a little bit more on my life and about what I want out of my experience at HBS.
For teaching us a lesson that leadership is about both the plumbing and the poetry. I think it's an important grounding lesson for all of us as we go forward.
Professor Margolis, thank you for pushing us to new limits each and every day. Your patience, your support, and your passion has really helped me become a better person than I was just 2 months ago.